Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for the GRE. We have been solving GRE math questions out of this book here, the official guide to the GRE, the revised journal test. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 239. Page 239, today is our lesson number 123. On page 239 you will see the example of 2.8.5. On the top of the page, 2.8.5, it deals with the notion of parabola. That's what we're going to learn today. What is a parabola? A parabola has a very simple equation to start out with. A parabola in its simplest form has this equation. Y equals to x squared. Here's your values of x, here's your values of y. When x is 0 in this equation, 0 squared is 0, so y is 0. When x is positive 1 or negative 1, whether x is positive 1 or negative 1, the square of positive 1 or negative 1 is just 1. So y is 1. When x is positive 1, positive or negative 2, when x is positive or negative 2, y is going to be 4. When x is positive 3 or negative 3, y is going to be 9, and so on and so forth. As you can see, the values of y is the same on either side of the y-axis. It's symmetric. Positive 1, negative 1, positive 2, negative 2, positive 3, negative 3. It's symmetric. Let's plot it. See, we'll see. So here's your 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. When x is 0, y is 0. Okay? Let's put it here. Let's put 5 here and let's put a 10 here. When x is 1, y is 1, somewhere here. When x is 2, y is 4. When x is 2, y is 4, somewhere here. When x is 3, y is 9, somewhere here. And we join these points and we'll see, we'll get a shape which is known as a parabola. It looks something like this. Voila. That's your parabola in the simplest form. Now what we're going to do is, I'm going to erase this part now. We don't need it. I need the room, so we're going to erase it. Now, we are going to pick it up and move it to the right 1 unit. That's what we're going to do. I want you to picture it, literally picture it in your mind, physically picture it as if you could physically pick up this graph. We're going to pick it up and we're going to move it to the right, just 1 unit. So what's going to happen as a result is, before y was 0, when x was 0. As you can clearly see, y is 0 and x is 0 right here. Now, however, y is going to be 0. Y is 0 when x is positive 1. Why? Because we're going to shift it. We're going to do it right now. We're going to shift it. Just 1 unit. So we're going to shift it. So it's going to move from here to here. The rest is going to be the same. It's going to, oh geez, I didn't do a very good job. It has to be parallel with the other graph. Voila. We have shifted it. We have picked it up We have picked it up and we shifted it. 1 unit. Just 1 unit. From here to here is a shift of just 1 unit. See? Right here. Right here, before x was 0 when y was 0 when x was 0. Now y is 0 when x is 1. Before y was 1 when x was 1. Now y is going to be 1. Y is going to be 1 when x is 2. Before y was 4 when x was 2. Let's write that down here. Before y was 1 when x was positive or negative 1. When x was negative 1 or positive 1. You see? When x was negative 1, y was 1. When x was negative, this is negative 1. This is positive 1. When x was negative 1, y was positive 1. Or when x was positive 1, y was 1. Now, however, now y is 1 when it should say x was. When x is y is 1. When x is y is 1. When x is 2. Right here. When x is 2, y is 1. Or when x is 0, right here. When x is 0, y is 1. You see? Instead of this point, we are at this point. Before, y was 1 when x was negative 1. Now y is 1 when x is 0. Before, y was 1 when x was 1. Now y is 1 when x is 2. You see, there is an increase of 1 unit because we shifted it to 1 unit to the right. X is 0 or positive 2. You see, it went from negative 1 to 0, it went from positive 1 to positive 2. Let's do one more. Before y was 4 when x was negative 2 or positive 2. Now y is 4 when x is negative 1 or positive 3. You see, again it increased by 1. It went from negative 2 to negative 1, positive 2 to positive 3, positive 1 to positive 2, negative 1 to 0, from 0 to 1. You see, the values of x have increased by 1. That's what it is. The values of y are the same exact values that took place before for a given 1 unit increase in the values of x. Because we shifted the thing, we picked it up and we shifted it to the right. So values of x have been increased just by 1 unit. Everything else is the same. The shape of the graph is still the same. The point is, how do we express it in terms of equation? This is how we do it. The equation of this new, the red one, parabola, is y equals to x minus 1 squared. Now the question is, why are we subtracting 1 when I just got done explaining to you that everything is taking place, values of for x for 1 unit more than before for the values of x. One more time, I'm going to do it, the entire process one more time. Before, the value of y was 0 when x was 0. Now the value of y is 0 when x is 1. Before, y was 1 when x was negative 1 or positive 1. Now instead of being negative 1, when x is 0, y is 1. Instead of being positive 1, x is 2 when y is 1. Because the values of x's are always 1 more now because it has been shifted to the left, but the relationship between the variable has not changed. Therefore, to compensate the fact that everything is taking place 1 unit later, but the relationship between x and y is not changed, the shape of the graph is not changed. Therefore, to compensate that fact that everything is happening 1 unit later, you have to subtract 1 from the x. Not add it, but subtract it to compensate the fact that everything is happening 1 unit later. So whatever was taking place when x was 2, now is going to take place as x is 3. But this quantity in parentheses has to be 2, otherwise we won't get the same values of y. If before the values of y was, if before y was 0 when x was 0, now the y still has to be 0 when this quantity in the parentheses is 0. Well, how do we make this quantity in parentheses equal to 0? By doing this, x minus y, by taking 1 away from it. You see? So, if before y was 0 when x was 0, now y is going to be 0 when x is 1. And y is going to be 0 when x is 1. 1 minus 1 is going to give us a 0. 0 squared is 0. Voila. So that's our new equation. X minus 1 whole squared. We're not done yet. We're not even halfway done. The story is going to go on for a long time. Now I need the room. So we're going to erase this part. We're done with all of this thing. I'm going to erase this. So this is our new parabola, which is the red one. Now we'll pick it up one more time and this time we will move it down by 4 units. We're going to move it down by 4 units. In other words, all the values of y will be same as before, except they will take place except they will be 4 unit less. They will be 4 unit less, and I'm going to show you that parabola. First, let me draw it here first, and then I'm going to erase the whole thing and redraw it freehand. Okay? What happens? We're going to move it 4 units. So 4 units. This is 5 here, so this is about 5. It has to be comparable. So this is 4 right here. So I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to pick up this guy right here, and I'm just going to move it 4 units. And this purple one that I'm drawing is going to be parallel to this guy. So something like this. So now we're going to do it freehand. I'm going to erase this now, we're going to do it freehand. It has been shifted down. It has been shifted down by 4 units. Here is our positive 1, and here is 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Voila. This is our final parabola. The question is, what is the equation of this guy? Well, everything is going to take place, values of y are going to be same as before, but they're going to take place 4 units. Everything, all the values of y are going to be same as before, except they'll be 4 units less. Because the values of y are 4 units less, the values of y are 4 units less because we have pulled it down by 4s. We have picked it up and we have dropped it down 4 units. And therefore all the values of y are 4 units less. But the relationship between x and y has not changed. Therefore, to compensate it, we're going to have to add 4 to the values of y. we're going to have to add 4 units value to y. Just like before, we had to subtract 1 from the values of x because we have shifted it to the right. And every value of x was 1 more than before. Therefore, to compensate it, we had to take away 1 from all the values of x. Now, we are going to drop this thing by 4 units down. We're going to lower it by 4 units, and therefore all the values of y are going to be 4 units less than before, and therefore to compensate it, we're going to have to add 4 to the values of y. And the equation is going to look like this. The equation is going to look like this. Before it was x minus 1 whole square, and that was y. Now we're just simply going to add 4 to it. That's it. Now we're just going to add 4 to it, and that is the equation of that parabola. Y plus 4 equals x minus 1 whole square. Now we're going to simplify it. We're going to simplify it and see what it looks like. Let's do it together. I'm doing it for the benefit of those people. It's a bit too late in the story to explain this thing now. I'm doing it for the benefit of those people who do not understand where this thing dropped from. It just dropped from the sky, and they tell you that's the equation of the parabola there. They tell you, they give you the equation of the parabola. They just give you the parabola out of the blue, and they just give you the equation. And for those of you who do not understand where this damn thing came from, it is for the benefit of those people that I'm doing this thing. The story begins with the very beginning. Okay, in the very beginning, on the first day, the creator created a parabola, y equal to x squared, and from there it evolved. First we shifted it 1 unit to the right, and as a result, because we're shifting it to the right, we're increasing the values of x by 1 to compensate for it. From all values of x we have to take away 1, so it becomes x minus 1. Then it evolved more. We picked it up again one more time and we pulled it down by 4 units, and now all the values of y are going to be 4 units less than before, and therefore to compensate for the fact that all the values of y are 4 less than before, we have to give 4 artificially. We have to add 4 to the y. Now let's open this thing, simplify it, see what it comes out to be. So here we're going to get x squared minus 2x plus 1, and for those of you who do not know how to do this thing, just FOIL it and you will see it. Just FOIL it and you will see x squared, x times minus 1 is minus x, minus 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So we get x squared minus 2x plus 1 right here, y plus 4. Subtract 4 from both sides, and we end up getting y equals to x squared minus 2x, positive 1 and a negative 4 gives us a negative 3. Voila. This equation that you see there is the exact same equation that you see in the book there. The exact same equation that you see in the book there. And that's all there was. That's all there was. That was the end of the story. I have actually more to say here on this question here, but I've just changed my mind. I'm not going to continue this thing because the video is going to be way too long. The next thing we have to figure out is where does this cutoff take place? Where does this graph of the parabola, as you can see now, this equation that I wrote for the parabola, this is same as this thing right here, because we just showed it. Positive 4 and negative 4, they cancel each other out, and we end up with y equals to x squared minus 2x minus 3, which is what that's exactly what that is. Incognito, in disguise. What we're going to do next, which I was going to do it right now, but as I said, the video is going to end up being too long. What we have to figure out next is, where does this parabola cut the x-axis? It cuts the x-axis here, and it cuts the x-axis here, which of course are called x-intercept. We're going to find those x-intercepts. We're going to find out where exactly it cuts it. Okay? But like I said, I'm going to do it in the next video. It's getting to be too long. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay? Bye now.